Gabriel Jesus. We know he's got this knee injury. We know that he's been a massive part of Arsenal's season, and that therefore means Arsenal have a situation to deal with the upcoming transfer window. How do they address it? With Gabriel Jesus and how important he's been in the position we put ourselves in this title race, we can't just pretend like not having him for even 3 months of the season is going to be no problem. It is going to be a problem. Let's talk about his impact a little bit, because in his first 14 games in the Premier League, Gabriel Jesus, in terms of assists, ranks 3rd in the Premier League. In terms of chances created from open play, that's 22 altogether, he ranks 6th in the Premier League. In terms of dribbles, he ranks 3rd. In terms of fouls won, he ranks 5th. And in terms of touches in the opponent's box, he ranks 1st. No players had more touches in the opponent's box in the Premier League than Gabriel Jesus. Now, that is massive when you're talking about ball security in tight areas and attacking areas and threatening areas, in sustaining pressure as well. When your striker's having that many touches in the opposition box, that means you're largely playing your football in the right areas of the pitch, and that is really, really important. Let's compare some of his stats per 90 to Lacazette and Aubameyang's last year. We're doing it in per 90 because it wouldn't be fair to purely... If you look at goals per 90, Jesus beats them both for 0.41 goals to 0.2 for Lacazette and 0.35 for Aubameyang. Again, this is a player who isn't massively considered a goal threat, has actually not scored for a while, but his goals per 90 already this season looking a lot better than the other two last season. He's even averaging more shots, 3.33 to 2.17 and 2.86. He's averaging far more touches, 45 to around 32 and 27 for Lacazette and Aubameyang, and touches in the penalty area around 8 to 5.25 and 4.25 for Lacazette and Aubameyang. So these are the sort of stats that you associate with your threatening forward, your goal threat, your fox in the box, your poacher who's trying to get goals, who's trying to, add numbers to that tally. He beats them both for that area. But there were other areas as well that this number 9 of Arsenal's under Mikel Arteta they had to adapt to. They had to do other things. They had to contribute to larger phases of play. And this is where Alex Lacazette, but his ability to score goals, I think, was impeded by the fact that he was trying to contribute so much across other areas of the pitch. And you see it in some of these numbers. In terms of tackles per 90, Lacazette actually comes out on top with 1.36, but Jesus up there with 1.13, and Aubameyang's number's not too bad, but the worst there as well. In terms of interceptions per 90, 0.38 to 0.25, and no interceptions across the whole of last season for Aubameyang. Again, this aids to the press, Arsenal playing up the pitch. Jesus does that very, very well and leads it brilliantly. And again, when you look at shot creating actions, Jesus with the most, and expected assists, Jesus with the most as well. So it's about contributing to the defensive side of things, it's about pressing as well, it's about your overall ability to create goals, create chances. So that's 3 solutions there, Nketiah, Martinelli, Smith Rowe. But if we're looking externally, what are we left with? I think it's likely we look at another wide player who can play up front rather than another striker / number 9 who's only really going to get minutes in that area of the pitch. You're not going to get a Giroud type. You're not going to get a... Eddie can play wide, but I'm talking profile-wise, a Harry Kane, where you're only really going to play them in that one area of the pitch. It's very, very important we look at what Jesus has offered, and then we go for a very similar profile of player. I know people are looking for that target man, out-and-out goal-scoring number 9. You get someone in who still contributes goals, but ultimately doesn't disrupt the flow of the team. And I think that's a big reason why Eddie did ultimately get the contract, is because he can play in those similar positions and adopt a similar role. And he's one that Arteta trusts. So do you trust him? That's the big question. Is he going to come in and start? I think he is. I think that's the first option that Arsenal are going to look to in terms of addressing this. And then January will come just 5 days after that first Premier League game against West Ham, back from the World Cup, and we'll see what they do in the January window.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.